10 supreme saintesses remembered marrying Xiaop. Xiaop remembered none of them at all. To him, their shared lifetime was only a strange dream. To those women, he was their missing husband. The first saintess found him immediately. She crossed an empire to claim him. Then another powerful wife arrived. Then another, each more terrifying than the last. Before sunrise, Xiaop was a powerless martial failure. By nightfall, 10 legendary women were coming to protect him. I've been stuck in this world for 16 years. I transmigrated here as a baby and landed in the Sia family of Star Language City in the Great Sia Empire. Cool name, right? Well, the impressive part ends there. This world, Tianwan continent, is all about martial arts. Everyone and their grandma is punching through mountains and flying through clouds. Warriors, rank from yellow to mystic to earth to heaven. 9 levels each. And above that, there's like 8 more major realms going all the way up to martial god. And me, Xiaop, son of the city lord, the young master himself, I can't even generate internal energy. 16 years of training, 10 years of specifically trying to become a basic warrior. My talent is so garbage that if talent was money, I'd owe people. I'm not. At the bottom of the barrel. I'm under the barrel in the dirt being stepped on by worms. Nobody says it to my face because you know my dad literally. ONS, this city. But I know what they're whispering at dinner tables. Oh, that saphone boy. Bless his heart. Bless my heart. I'll bless her anyway. I was lying in bed staring at the ceiling having my nightly existential crisis when suddenly my chest starts glowing. Now I've had this weird little bead since birth. Literally came out of my mother's womb clutching this thing like a baby dragon hoarding treasure. Brought it with me. From my previous life. I spent years studying it. Blood drops did it. Spiritual sensing did it. Talking to it nicely. Yelling at it. Done and done. For 16 years. This bead was basically an expensive marble. And now it's glowing. The light got brighter. And brighter and I'm standing there like an idiot holding it thinking, should I? Should I throw it? What if it explodes? I'm literally at martial apprentice level. I have the durability of a wet napkin. And then the bead just get itself out of the little iron cage I kept it in and drills into my forehead. Ah, Xiao, are you okay? My parents immediately concerned because they're angels and I don't deserve them. Just a nightmare. Everything was not great. A mysterious orb just invaded my skull. My dad then reminded me about tomorrow's engagement banquet with the Liu family's daughter and said, after that he'd personally go search for herbs to improve my talent. See what I mean? Angels, my talent is literal garbage and they're still out here trying to help me. But about that engagement, Liu family's daughter, she wants nothing to do with me. Can't blame her, honestly. She's 15, already mystic rank level 9. She's basically a prodigy soaring through the heavens while I'm down here struggling to do a push-up. We even went to their house a few days ago to let them cancel the engagement. You know, give them a graceful exit and they refused. Said my dad saved her dad's life and they honor their debts. Very noble, very touching, but like your daughter literally runs away. When she sees me, how's this marriage going to work? Honey, I'm home. Sound of windows shattering as she escapes. So, I lay back down and tried to sense this bead that just moved into my brain like an uninvited roommate. And a message floated up. Dream bead assists with dreaming. Assists with dreaming. All that dramatic glowing. The forehead. Invasion. The near heart attack. And this thing's grand purpose is to help me dream better. What am I supposed to do with that? My dreams are in 4K now. Thanks. Mysterious ancient artifact. What a game-changer. Pull the 10 supreme holy maidens of the great Sia Empire into my dream and let me live my best life for one night. That would be worth the forehead drilling. I said this as a joke. This is important. I went to sleep. Didn't think much of it. Stupid dream bead. But then, the bead activated and it gave me a dream. Not just any dream. A dream where I lived an entire 1,000 years. Same starting point as reality. Garbage talent. Same family. Same situation. But in the dream, I got lucky break after lucky break. Adventure after adventure. I became the sole supreme of the entire Tanyan continent. And oh, and this is the best part. Remember my joke about the 10 holy maidens? The bead actually did it. All 10 of them appeared in my dream. We met, fell in love through dramatic circumstances, got married, and I helped them all become martial goddesses. 1,000 years of epic adventure and romance. In one night of sleep, I woke up feeling amazing, like I just had the best spa day in existence, times a million. Refreshed, energized, ready to conquer. I think I had a dream. I couldn't remember any of it. Not one single detail. 1,000 years of peak life experience, and my brain just went, nah, not important. Cool, 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 cool. Really helpful. So, I shrugged it off, washed my face, and went about my day like nothing happened. Meanwhile, and I had absolutely no idea about this. Across the entire empire in 10 different supreme holy lands, 10 of the most powerful and beautiful women in existence also woke up from that same dream. Except they remembered everything, every single detail. 1,000 years of falling in love with me, fighting alongside me, being helped by me. And apparently the last night of the dream was our wedding night. And they remember that part very clearly because their faces were turning red enough to cook eggs on. And then their auras started changing. They hadn't gained any real power, but their presence, their pressure started shifting toward martial god level because in the dream, that's what they were. So all 10 of them had the same thought at the same time. This wasn't just a dream, and they all whispered the same name. Star Language City's young city Lord Xiaoping. They knew my info from the dream. Worst talent ever. About to have an engagement banquet where his fiancee probably wants to dump him. And that banquet, it's today. So, all 10 supreme holy maidens, the most untouchable godlike women in the entire empire, got out of bed, found out where Star Language City was, and started flying here, all 10 of them at the same time. And I'm just over here brushing my teeth going, man, I slept great last night. What a nice morning. I have no idea what's coming. Faced with tears of joy. So, here we are. The engagement banquet Star Language Grand Restaurant. Everybody who's anybody in this city showed up. Nobles, warriors, family, friends, random people who just wanted free food and drama. And boy, did they get drama. The vibe was already weird. Everyone knew the situation. Me, 16 years old, can't even generate internal energy, stuck at martial apprentice level like a video game character permanently frozen on the tutorial screen, and Lu Xiu, 15, mystic rank level 9, literal prodigy, the pride of Star Language City. It's like announcing an engagement between a house cat and a tiger. Everyone's smiling politely, but internally, going, if this ain't going to work. My dad greeted Lu Xiu's dad, all friendly. Lu Tian chatted back like nothing was wrong. Everything seemed normal. And then Lu Xiu walked up onto the entertainment stage. You know, the stage meant for musicians and dancers, grabbed everyone's attention, and with the coldest voice imaginable said, "Dear friends and family, sorry, but the engagement is canceled. Xiaop and I have incompatible personalities. I'm sure he'll find someone better." Incompatible personalities. Girl, we haven't had a real conversation in 2 years. What personalities are you comparing? The whole room went dead silent. You could hear a chopstick drop 3 floors down. Now look, I expected this. I knew she'd bail, but doing it here, on the stage in front of every important person in the city, that's not breaking up. That's a public execution of my dignity. My dad's face went through about 17 shades of angry. He turned to Lu Tian and basically said, "Bro, is this your idea?" And this guy, this absolute snake, just smiled and said, "Oh, no, no. This is Xiu's decision. I simply respect my daughter's choice. Respect her choice." He choreographed this. He probably booked the stage lighting. My dad reminded him, "I destroyed my own dancing saving. Your life. My cultivation is permanently capped because of you. And this is how you repay me." And Lu Tian had the audacity to sigh. He actually sighed like he was the victim and said, "Brother Sia, I'll never forget your kindness. But your son is 16 and still a martial apprentice. My daughter's future is bigger than Star Language City. I can't sacrifice her whole life to repay a debt. You're a father too." "Oh, I understand. I understand you're a backstabbing snake who kept the engagement alive just so you could break it today for maximum humiliation. We literally went to their house days ago and offered to cancel it quietly. said they'd honor the engagement. And now, I realize why. Because a quiet cancellation doesn't let you show off in front of the entire city. My mom rushed over to me, worried I was going to have a breakdown. Xiaong, are you okay? I shook my head. Mom, I'm fine. I'm just sorry that you and Dad got humiliated because of me. She smiled and said, your dad and I have been through worse. The engagement's off. With your handsome face, finding a wife will be easy. And that's when Luciu, walking past us off the stage, dropped the most savage drive-by comment of the century. What good is being handsome? She didn't even stop walking. This girl, my mom's face went dark. I called out, Lee, Sai, you. She turned around with this smug little smile. You don't actually think being good-looking means girls will throw themselves at you, right? This is a world that values strength. Oh, you want to go there? I smiled right back. Funny you say that. 2 or 3 years ago, you were following me around like a puppy. Brother phoned this. Brother phoned that. You told me I was the wind and you were the rain. Wind and rain together. A match made by heaven. You said you'd be my little maid and serve me forever. So what were you looking at back then, if not my face? You know, whenever I remember that Star Language City's #1 genius girl used to simp for me that hard, it really puts me in a good mood. Her face went nuclear red. Her parents looked like they wanted to crawl into a hole. Huh? You want to humiliate me in public? Let's make it a team sport. But then, she composed herself and went cold again. Siong, I've broken through. I'm now Earth rank. Level 1, and I've been accepted as a direct disciple of the Grand Elder of Cloud Mountain Sect. The crowd gasped. Cloud Mountain Sect? That's a mid-tier sect. Their sect master is a martial venerable. The Grand Elder is a heaven rank level 9 martial ancestor. With Cloud Mountain Sect backing them, the Liu family won't just be #1 in Star Language City. They'll dominate dozens of cities. And just like that, I understood everything. This whole thing, the timing, the public stage, the dramatic announcement, it was never just about dumping me. It was a press conference, a coming out party for the new and improved Liu family. They used my engagement banquet as their launch event. Dump the loser city lord's son, reveal the sect backing equals instant power move in front of every noble in the city. I'm honestly almost impressed. Then the mysterious stranger who'd been standing with the Liu family finally spoke up. Shu, let's go. Why waste words on a waste? That's him, the Grand Elder. Heaven rank level 9, martial ancestor. The strongest person to set foot in this city in probably decades. Everyone in the room looked at him like he was a god descended from heaven. He glanced at me like I was something stuck to his shoe. Stay in your little city. Stop thinking about Shiyu. My fists clenched so hard my knuckles cracked. Every cell in my body wanted to scream back at him. But I'm not stupid. This man could sneeze and accidentally delete his entire family from existence. My dad, the city lord, is just a heaven rank martial king. This guy is a heaven ran level 9 martial ancestor. That's like comparing a firecracker to a nuclear bomb. So I swallowed it. Every last drop of rage, because being alive and humiliated beats being dead and proud. I'm an adult soul in a teenager's body. I can take an insult, but I'm not going to lie. It hurt. It hurt a lot. And then right at the absolute lowest moment of my life, when the whole city just watched me get publicly dumped, called trash, and told to know my place, a voice rang out through the entire restaurant. Who dares humiliate my husband? Excuse me, what? I don't even have a girlfriend. Who in the record scratch freeze frame? Yeah, that's the moment I knew my life was about to get very complicated. Faced with tears of joy, everyone turned to look at the entrance, and in walked the most devastatingly beautiful woman I have ever seen in 2 lifetimes. I'm talking tall curves that could cause traffic accidents, skin like porcelain, lips like roses, a face shaped like a perfect melon seed. And these eyes, these hypnotic, bewitching fox-like eyes that could make a monk rethink his life choices. She was wearing a black skin-tied outfit with a fluffy fox fur scarf, walking in with this slow, confident catwalk like she owned the place. Except right now, that gorgeous face was ice cold, and those seductive eyes full of murder. With every step she took, this insane pressure radiated outward. People around her started having trouble breathing. Grown warriors were gasping like fish on land, And the words still echoing through the restaurant. Who dares humiliate my husband? Everyone's brain did the math at the same time. Before she showed up, only one person was being humiliated. Every single pair of eyes slowly turned to me. My mom leaned over and whispered, "Sha, when did you get such a beautiful wife? Your own mother didn't know." Mom, I don't know either. I was so confused. Like I would definitely remember marrying a woman who looks like she was sculpted by the gods on their best day. That's not something you just forget. The Cloud Mountain Grand Elders stepped forward, blocking the pressure for the Lu family. Who are you? Which sect do you belong to? She ignored his question entirely and looked at him like he was gum on her shoe. Are you the one who humiliated my husband? Lu Xiu popped out from behind her master trying to be helpful. Senior, I think you have the wrong person. He's Xiao, 16 years old. Can't even generate internal energy. A waste I just broke off my engagement with. There's no way he's your husband. The woman turned to Lu Xiu, and I swear the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Senior, I'm about the same age as you. Don't call me senior. Then her voice got even colder. And who gave you permission to call my husband a waste? You dare break off an engagement with him? It should have been my husband who dumped you. You, Lu Xiu started to get angry, but the woman wasn't finished. Apologize to my husband. If he forgives you, fine. If he doesn't, then you kneel until you die. Lu Xiao's face was pure disbelief. You want me to kneel to that with slap? She didn't even finish the word. 1 second, Lu Xiu was standing. The next she was stumbling sideways, crashing to the ground with a bright red handprint on her face and blood trickling from her mouth. Nobody even saw the woman move. She was just there. And Lu Xiu was on the floor. I told you to kneel. You don't get to talk back. The audacity, the power, the sheer disrespect to Cloud Mountain sect, delivered with the casualness of swatting a mosquito. And I'm not going to lie, watching Lu Xiu, who just humiliated me, in front of the entire city 5 minutes ago, sitting on the floor holding her face with that shocked expression. Chef's kiss, I know I shouldn't enjoy it. I know, but I did. I really did. Lu Tin Shang and his wife rushed over. Xiu, are you okay? Xiu looked up at her master with teary eyes. Master, she doesn't respect Cloud Mountain sect at all. Please avenge me. The Grand Elder's face was dark. He turned to the woman. You've gone too far. She is a disciple of Cloud Mountain sect. We may be just a mid-tier sect, but we will not allow anyone to bully our disciples. He emphasized mid-tier sect, like it was supposed to be intimidating, like dropping your company name at a bar. The woman actually laughed. Cloud Mountain sect, a mid-tier sect. And you're proud of that? Oh, she did not just insolent. The Grand Elder exploded with pressure. His full power as a heaven-rank level 9 martial ancestor rolled out like a tsunami. Guests stumbled backward, struggling to breathe, faces pale with terror. His aura alone is unbearable. Even I, a heaven-rank level 9 martial master, couldn't survive one move against him. That woman is done for. What a shame. She's so beautiful but has no brain. Getting killed over a waste. Everyone was writing her obituary already. And here's where I did something that surprised even myself. Despite having no idea who this woman was, I stepped forward and said, Miss, this is nothing to do with you. You don't need to do this. Just leave because I'm not going to let some stranger, however gorgeous, however powerful, however clearly insane, get herself killed defending me from a fight that isn't hers. She turned back to me and smiled. And everyone in the room forgot how to think, including me. Because that smile with that face, it was like staring directly at the sun if the sun was beautiful and also wanted to hold your hand. You're my husband. Nobody gets to humiliate you. The softest, most tender voice, saying the most ride or die words imaginable. I opened my mouth, closed it, opened it again. Nothing came out because what do you say to that? I have a drop-dead gorgeous mystery woman who I've never met, declaring herself my wife, slapping my ex-fiancé across the face, trash-talking a martial ancestor to his face, and looking at me like I'm the most precious thing in the universe. And I'm just standing here, like person standing with my brain playing the Windows error sound on repeat. Having a wife this protective and badass would be incredible. If only I had any idea who. She was loudly crying face. My mom was beaming like full-on Christmas morning face. She whispered to my dad, "This girl is wonderful. If she were really our daughter-in-law, that would be amazing." My dad gave her a look. "Stop talking nonsense." Then he turned to the mystery fox goddess and said, very seriously, "Young lady, please leave. Don't throw your life away for us." Because in my dad's mind, this beautiful idiot was about to pick a fight with a heaven rank level 9 mal ancestor and get herself killed. And even worse, if she made him angry enough, he might take it out on our whole family. But she just smiled at my dad, called him Uncle Sia, like they were old friends, and said, "Don't worry, he can't hurt me." I tried to warn her, "Miss, he's a heaven rank level 9 mal ancestor. That's not a joke." She turned to me with the most adorable, confident grin and held up her little fist. "It's fine, hubby. I'm really strong." She said it like a 5-year-old showing off a crayon drawing. Except the crayon drawing could apparently destroy mountains. The Grand Elder was done talking. "You've successfully angered me. No matter what force you belong to, today I will teach you manners." Cloud Mountain hand. He struck from a distance and a giant hand. Literally. A 10-foot-long energy hand materialized in the air and came smashing down toward her. The crowd went nuts. Cloud Mountain hand. A top-tier mid-grade martial technique. At full power, he can make a 30-foot hand. He's holding back because we're indoors. Even so, that strike could flatten a small mountain. Lucius' eyes were sparkling with excitement. "You dared. Hit me. Now you pay." I opened my mouth to yell, but before I could say anything, the woman's body erupted with an energy shield that wrapped around her and my entire family, just casually, like opening an umbrella. She looked back at me, face inches from mine, and said softly, "Don't worry, hubby. I'll protect you." She was so close. That perfect face. That faint perfume. I literally had to swallow because my brain was short-circuiting. I almost forgot we were in the middle of a fight. "Lutzi, you saw us having this little moment and lost it. You disgusting couple. Let's see how long you can act smug." Translation. My ex rash fiancé is having a romantic moment with a woman, hotter and stronger than me, and I am not handling it well. The Cloud Mountain. Hand slammed into the shield. The shockwave obliterated every table and chair nearby. The entire building shook like it was about to collapse, and the shield not a scratch. The Grand Elder's jaw practically hit the floor. He'd never had anyone block his Cloud Mountain hand this easily, except his own sect master, who's a full martial venerable. I could literally see his brain going through the stages of grief in real time. Denial, anger, bargaining, and then I saw something else flash in his eyes. This old fox was already thinking about stealing her technique. Typical villain move. Getting your butt kicked and immediately going, "Ooh, I want that power." "My turn," she said. Her eyes flashed red. "I," said Neil and the Grand Elder, the terrifying heaven rank level 9 martial ancestor. The man whose mere aura made grown warriors stumble backward. His eyes went glassy and he dropped to his knees. What just happened? The entire restaurant turned into a statue gallery. Luciu ran over and tried to pull her master up, grabbing his arm, yanking with everything she had. He didn't budge, not 1 inch. He was just kneeling there with empty, hypnotized eyes. I blurted out command through words. Whatever she says becomes reality. She turned back to me with that devastating smile. "Oh, hubby, it's not that impressive. I haven't reached that level yet." I has it. Everyone leaned in. You could feel an entire restaurant collectively holding its breath. "Want me to try it on you?" I looked at the Grand Elder, the most powerful man in the room, kneeling on the ground with drool practically coming out of his mouth, eyes completely glazed over, dignity obliterated. I shuddered from head to toe. "I'm good, thank you. No seduction necessary. I appreciate the offer. I'd never use my techniques on my hubby, but if you have any special preferences, I can accommodate those, too." A special preferences. My brain went exactly where it shouldn't have gone. My face turned red. I had nothing. This woman's verbal game was on another level. I was being flirted into submission, and I didn't even know her name yet. Meanwhile, the Grand Elder snapped out of it. He stood up with Lucia's help, face burning with humiliation and fury. "Who are you?" What kind of seduction technique is this? He was starting to suspect something. A seduction technique this powerful could only come from one place. But no, people from that place would never come to a backwater city like this. Who told you to get up, Neil? Her eyes flashed red again. And even though the Grand Elder was ready this time, even though he was actively defending against it, thud back on his knees again. The crowd was horrified. They didn't even understand what was happening. From their angle, they couldn't see her eyes. It just looked like she told him to kneel, and he did it twice. Then she turned to me one more time, and that icy, murderous expression melted into the sweetest, most adorable smile you've ever seen. Like two completely different people sharing one face. I got so mad at that old man for bullying you that I forgot to introduce myself. Hubby, let's do this properly. She gave a little bow. My name is Uja. I'm from the Celestial Fox Holy Land. Celestial Fox Holy Land, as in one of the 10 supreme holy lands of the great Sia Empire, as in the place that produces the most powerful and beautiful women on the entire continent, as in wait, calls herself a fox. She's from the Fox Holy Land. Of course she is. I'm standing here in a destroyed restaurant next to a kneeling martial ancestor across from my furious ex-fiancé, surrounded by terrified nobles being claimed as a husband by a girl from one of the most powerful organizations in the empire. And I still have no idea how she knows me or why she thinks I'm her husband. My life makes no sense and I am both terrified and slightly thrilled. Loudly crying face, the restaurant exploded with whispers. She's from the Celestial Fox Holy Land. No wonder she doesn't care about Cloud Mountain sect. Cloud Mountain is a mid-tier sect. Comparing them to a Holy Land is like comparing a puddle to the ocean. But why is a Holy Land disciple in our tiny backwater city? And why does she keep calling Sia? Phone her husband. Wait, I heard. All direct disciples of the Celestial Fox Holy Land carry the bloodline of the ancient divine beast, the nine-tailed celestial fox. Hold on. My brain is broken. She keeps calling him husband, but it also sounds like they've never met before. Can someone please explain what's happening? Yeah, good question. I also needed someone to explain what was happening. I was living it and I had no clue. Luciu was having a full mental breakdown. That waste can't possibly know someone from the Celestial Fox Holy Land. She's an imposter. You, see, just laughed, turned to me with this amused look, and said, Hubby, your ex-fiancé, is not only blind but apparently also brain damaged in the entire great empire. Who would dare impersonate me? You see? And that's when the Grand Elder, who had just snapped out of his second round of mind control, kneeling, heard her full name and literally collapsed onto the ground face white as a ghost. See, Star Language City is too remote for people to recognize her. But the Grand Elder, he knew exactly who Usia was. She wasn't just a disciple. She wasn't just a direct disciple. She was the Celestial Fox Holy Maiden, the #1 Holy Maiden of the Celestial Fox Holy Land, the top candidate to become the next Holy Landem. She possessed the Celestial Fox charm, body, a once-in-a-generation divine constitution that basically guarantees she'll reach Martial Saint level as long as she doesn't die. She was 15 years old and already a Martial Venerable. Let me put that in perspective. The Grand Elder who'd been terrorizing everyone. Heaven rank level, 9 Martial Ancestor. That's 2 full realms below Martial Venerable. He was flexing in front of someone who could sneeze him into another dimension. The Celestial Fox Holy Maiden. She's one of the 10 supreme holy maidens of the Great Sa Empire. The crowd's gasps could have powered a wind turbine. I'm just standing here going, howdy. Yo, I know a holy maiden. I've never left this city. The Celestial Fox Holy Land is thousands of miles away. We have zero connection. This makes absolutely no sense. Luciu was still screaming. No, it's fake. That waste can't possibly know a holy maiden. It can't be real. But this time it wasn't Sia. It was the Grand Elder slapping his own disciple. This man was about to have a stroke. He came here for a simple disciple pickup and somehow ended up offending the most dangerous young woman in the Phaliance's entire empire. And his stupid apprentice kept poking the bear. Master, you shut up. He spun around and bowed so deep to Yusha that his forehead almost touched the floor. I didn't know I was in the presence of the celestial fox. Please forgive my earlier offense. You see, his voice was ice. Did I say you could stand? He didn't even need the seduction technique this time. He dropped to his knees voluntarily. Man went from "I'll teach you manners" to "please don't destroy my sect" in about 4 minutes. Flat. Then Yusia just looked at Lucio. Didn't say a word. The Grand Elder understood. Immediately, he whipped around and screamed at Lucio. You foolish disciple. Kneel and apologize to young brother Saw right now. Young brother Saw. This man called me waste 5 minutes ago. Now I'm young brother Shy. The whiplash gave the entire audience collective neck injuries. Lucius' face was twisted. The girl who just publicly dumped me on stage called me a waste, mocked me for being handsome, announced her fancy sect membership like she was reading a resume. That girl now had to kneel and apologize to me. Her fists were clenched. Her jaw was locked. Tears of pure humiliation were building in her eyes. Xiao, I'm sorry. She spat it out like the words were made of broken glass. And honestly, I felt kind of weird about it. Like you started this. You chose to publicly humiliate me at my own engagement banquet. You called me a waste, and now you're crying. Like I'm the bully. Girl, the audacity. Looks like my hubby isn't quite satisfied. You can all stay kneeling for now. You see it so casually, like she was deciding whether to order dessert. The Grand Elder nodded frantically. Yes, yes, yes. Well, kneel until young brother Sia is satisfied. A heaven rank level 9 martial ancestor nodding like a bobblehead, zero dignity remaining, his reputation as a supreme powerhouse gone, reduced to atoms. Lu Tianong and his wife wanted to step forward, but their legs wouldn't move. The word Holy Maiden was pressing down on them like a mountain, and I could see the confusion in their eyes. What does that waste have that attracted a Holy Maiden, buddy? I'm asking myself the same question. Then you see it turn to me in the ice. Queen vanished, replaced by this adorable, expectant smile like a puppy who just fetched a ball. Hubby, I stood up for you. Did I do good? 1 second. She's making a martial ancestor kneel and threatening to cut out tongues. The next, she's looking at me with sparkly eyes, asking if I'm proud of her. The gap between her two modes was giving me emotional whiplash. I opened my mouth, closed it. My brain searched through every word I knew in 2 lifetimes. And the best I could come up with was, thanks. Thanks. That's what I said. The most beautiful and powerful woman I've ever met just demolished my enemies for me. And I said, thanks, like she held a door open. What a blockhead. She reached out with her perfect snow-white hand and poked my forehead. Then she smiled. The most radiant smile I've seen in 16 years of existence. But I like it. What is happening to my life? Then she slipped her arm through mine, just casually latched on like we'd been together for years, pressed herself against my side, and I could feel softness and warmth in this intoxicating perfume. And my mouth went completely dry, and my brain just error 404. Thoughts not found. She giggled and said, Hubby, look, all these guests are already here. Uncle and Annie are here. We can't let everyone go home empty-handed. Why don't we just use today to hold our engagement banquet instead? She wants to hijack the engagement banquet, the one that Luciu just canceled 5 minutes ago. She wants to replace the bride and hold the ceremony right now in front of the same guests at the same venue while the previous fiancé is still kneeling on the floor. This is the most savage power move in the history of power moves. And I am simultaneously terrified, impressed, and slightly in love. Every single guest in the restaurant had the same expression. Mouth twitching, eyes wide, brain broken, and honestly, same. You see, who was still clinging to my arm like a beautiful koala made of perfume and danger, just casually suggested we hold our engagement banquet right now in the same room with the same guests while my ex-fiancé was still kneeling on the floor. Isn't this a bit fast? I don't even know you yet. That's what I tried to say, but her softness was pressed against my arm, and my words came out all stuttery and broken like a computer running too many programs at once. She blinked those bewitching eyes and smiled. We can get to know each other after. But your family isn't here. An engagement needs both families present. Call me wifey. She stomped her little foot, stomped it like a pouty kitten. I physically could not make my mouth form that word. After an embarrassingly long pause, I tried. How about I call you CIA? She puffed out her cheeks, disappointed. Those sad puppy eyes could end worse. Fine, I guess. I turned my head away because looking into her eyes was like staring into a black hole. Once you fall in, you're never coming out. See, maybe you should check with your family first because let's be real. Here, I'm a nobody, a zero, a guy who can't even become a basic warrior. There is absolutely in no universe where the Celestial Fox Holy Land, one of the 10 supreme organizations in the Empire, would let their holy maiden marry me. This had to be some kind of mistake, or a prank, or a hallucination. Maybe the dream bead was still working, and I was actually still asleep. She grabbed my face, both hands, cupping my cheeks. Her gorgeous face was right there, inches away, and I could feel her breath on my no need. We can act first and report later. Act first and report later. That's what rebels say before doing something crazy. And she's saying it about marrying me. Everyone in the restaurant heard it. Jaws hit the floor again. One of the 10 supreme holy maidens of the Empire just said she'd marry a waste without permission and deal with consequences later. This isn't a holy maiden. This is a simp. A divine tier Holy Land level martial venerable rank simp. And she was sing for me. Nobody understood, especially Lushu, who was kneeling off to the side looking like someone who just watched their house burn down, their car get stolen, and stepped on a Lego all at the same time. The timing was devastating. She broke off the engagement 5 minutes ago, screaming that I was worthless trash. And now the number one holy maiden in the Empire was literally begging to marry me. Lushu looked like a complete clown, and she knew it. I could practically hear her internal scream. Meanwhile, you see, his face was getting closer and closer. Her lips were almost touching my cheek. The perfume was making my thoughts dissolve. My arm was experiencing things that my 16-year-old body was not equipped to process. See, can you let go of me first? And oh, say you'll marry me, and I'll let go. She squeezed tighter. There are people watching. Who dares look? Every single guest in the restaurant immediately spun around and faced the wall. Like they were in a police lineup. 300 people suddenly found the wallpaper fascinating. I looked left. I looked right. All I saw was backs. You guys are seriously this scared? Hubby, will you marry me? Her voice was pure honey mixed with danger. Her red lips were millimeters from my face. My brain was melting. My willpower was a sand castle, and she was the ocean. And then it started snowing inside the restaurant. Snowflakes appeared out of nowhere, drifting through the air like someone opened a portal to the Arctic. The temperature plummeted. All the drinks on the tables froze solid instantly. Warriors, who hadn't felt cold in years, were suddenly hugging themselves, teeth chattering, rubbing their arms. That's so cold. Why is it freezing? These were grown warriors and martial masters shivering, like wet kittens. Whatever was causing this was insanely powerful. But weirdly, the snow avoided my family completely. We felt nothing, like we had an invisible warm bubble around us. You see, aside, not scared, just annoyed, like someone interrupted her favorite TV show. She got here fast. She poked my forehead. She really liked doing that, and held my arm tighter. You'll see in a second. If you just said yes faster, we could have finished the engagement already. She was mad at me for not accepting her marriage proposal quickly enough because a rival showed up. My life had turned into a dating show, and I didn't even submit an application. The Grand Elder, still kneeling, tried his luck. Celestial Fox, Holy Maiden, we've apologized and knelt for a while now. Could we perhaps leave? He could feel the terrifying power behind the cold. His survival instincts were screaming, run. Stay kneeling. You see snapped at him. She was annoyed about the incoming competition, and the Grand Elder had the bad luck of asking at exactly the wrong moment. He became her emotional punching bag. Yes, yes, yes. My favorite activity. The Grand Elder nodded, frantically. Behind his back, he secretly crushed a communication jade slip to send an SOS to his sect. This man was desperate. Then Lushu, who apparently had a death wish, stood up and screamed, Celestial Fox, Holy Maiden, why is that waste worth all this? Oh, no. You see, I didn't even bother with the seduction technique this time. She just released her pressure, raw, overwhelming martial venerable level pressure and slammed Lu Shu back to her knees. Lu Shu coughed up blood. She finally shut up. Her parents were panicking but completely helpless. Their biggest protector was kneeling right next to their daughter. And then Dionys, release my husband. A cold voice echoed through the restaurant. Everyone turned, shivering, hugging themselves, breath coming out, in white clouds, and saw a girl walking in. Blue hair, blue short skirt, round face, big eyes, absolutely gorgeous in a cute but deadly way, completely expressionless, like an ice sculpture that learned to walk. And she was cold. Not just, it's chilly cold. This was a cold that came from inside your bones and radiated out. The kind of cold where wearing tin coats wouldn't help. Every step she took in her high heels left a frost footprint on the floor. But the word that sent every head in the room swiving back to me. Husband, she said. 300 pairs of eyes locked onto me. The talentless, powerless waste of a young city lord standing here with one absolute goddess already hanging on my arm, while another absolute goddess just walked in calling me husband. And I'm just standing here with a single thought bouncing around my empty skull, like a screensaver. What is happening to my life? Loudly crying face. Loudly crying face. Loudly crying face. I genuinely cannot explain what my life has become. 2 minutes ago, I was the city's biggest loser. Now I have a fox goddess on my right arm and an ice queen on my left arm, and they're both calling me husband, while fighting over me like I'm the last piece of cake at a birthday party. The blue-haired girl glared at Yua. You didn't let go. In fact, she squeezed tighter. The temperature dropped another few degrees. People's eyebrows were growing icicles. The Grand Elder, a heaven, rank level 9 mal ancestor, was kneeling on the ground, shivering. You see, don't test my patience. Like you could beat me in a fight. Want to try? These two were about to turn this restaurant into a war zone. And I was literally standing between them like a toothpick between two sledgehammers. Ladies, let's talk this out. No, fighting, please. And you see instantly backed down. Hubby doesn't like fighting, so I won't fight. She smiled at me sweetly, still glued to my arm. The blue-haired girl saw this, gritted her teeth, and in a flash appeared on my other side, grabbing my left arm and pressing herself against me while glaring daggers at UC. So now I had right arm fox goddess, warm, soft, smells like flowers, left arm, ice princess, cool, soft, smells like winter morning. Both extremely distracting. My body was completely frozen and not. Because of the cold, I literally did not dare move a single muscle. One wrong twitch, and I might accidentally start World War II. The guests were staring with eyes the size of dinner plates. Two supreme beauties, one on each side, fighting over the biggest waste in the city. Their brains were all displaying the blue screen of death. Hubby already agreed to marry me. You're too late. You see, said with a straight face. When did I agree? I said thanks. That's not a marriage vow. The ice girl didn't even flinch, as if he'd agreed to marry you. And even if he did, I'll just steal him. She said it so calmly, like stealing someone's fiancé was as normal as borrowing a cup of sugar. And then, because apparently today was, let's ruin Lu Xia's entire life day, Lu Xia couldn't take it anymore. She stood up from her kneeling position and let out this raw, desperate scream. You, who are you? He's just a waste I threw away. What is so great about him? Why are you two fighting over him? The Grand Elder heard this and his survival instincts kicked in immediately. He shuffled sideways on his knees, putting as much distance between himself and Lu Xia as possible. This man, a heaven rank level 9 martial ancestor, was walking away from his own disciple like she was a live grenade. And I could practically hear his internal monologue. I'm kneeling here, not daring to breathe. And this idiot Earth rank level 1 disciple keeps provoking people who could blink us out of existence. Kneel, you see his pressure. Slammed Lu Xia back down to the ground. But the ice girl also turned to look at Lu Xia, and her eyebrow raised just slightly in a voice that could freeze lava. Lu Xia tried to speak. The ice girl waved her hand casually like she was brushing away a fly. Ice erupted from the ground beneath Lu Xia and encased her entire body in seconds, frozen solid, head to toe, completely immobilized. You could see through the ice that her face was twisted in agony. The frost wasn't just cold. It was inflicting pain, but she couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't even open her mouth. Just a Lucy popsicle. Her parents rushed over and touched the ice, only to yank their hands back, like they'd grabbed a hot stove. Except the opposite. The cold was so intense it burned. Lucia's mom turned to the ice girl, crying, "Miss, even if you like, Xiao, you don't have to do this to my daughter. Relationships should be mutual. She doesn't like him. What's wrong with breaking off the engagement?" The ice girl responded with zero emotion. "Breaking off the engagement is fine. Oh, but from what I know, my husband and Uncle Sia personally went to your house days ago to let you cancel the engagement, and you refused. Then just days later, you cancel it here at the banquet, in front of the entire city. If you'd done it privately, that would just make you blind. But what you did today was deliberately designed to humiliate my husband and his family. I don't forgive that." The restaurant went quiet because she was right. She laid out the facts, and everyone realized the Liu family had played this perfectly dirty. The guests started murmuring now that she mentions it. The Sa family did go to the Liu house first. They refused the quiet breakup just so they could do it publicly. That is pretty scummy. When I said the exact same thing earlier, nobody cared. But when a terrifyingly powerful ice goddess says it, suddenly everyone agrees. Really feeling the love. Star language city. Really feeling it. Lu Tian begged. "Even so, my daughter doesn't deserve to die. Please show mercy." The ice girl didn't even look at him. "Someone with no eyes doesn't even qualify to die by my hand. This is just a small lesson. She won't die. A small lesson." She froze a girl into a human ice sculpture and called it a small lesson. I looked at the ice girl on my left, then at the fox goddess on my right. Both incredibly beautiful, both absurdly powerful, both absolutely terrifying, and both calling me husband. And I still had no idea why either of them knew who I was. My morning started with brushing my teeth and thinking, wow, great sleep. And now I'm standing in a destroyed restaurant. Left arm claimed by an ice maiden. Right arm claimed by a fox maiden. My ex is frozen in a block of ice. Her master is kneeling on the floor. And apparently more might be coming. I didn't ask for this life, but I can't say I'm hating it, grinning face with sweat. So the ice girl noticed the grand elder kneeling next to the Lucy popsicle and blinked. Who's this guy? The grand elder, who'd been kneeling for so long his knees were probably fused to the floor, immediately put on his best suck-up smile. "Hello, I'm the grand elder of Cloud Mountain sect." "Oh, so you're the Cloud Mountain grand elder." His eyes lit up. The way she said it, he thought maybe she was friendly with Cloud Mountain sect. Maybe he had an out. He nodded eagerly. "Yes, that's me. You also insulted my husband, right?" The light in his eyes died instantly. She waved her hand. I shot up from the floor toward him. This time, he actually reacted, channeled his energy, and launched himself backward across the room into a corner. Because getting frozen meant putting his life in someone else's hands, and he wasn't going down without you dare resist. She didn't even move. A ball of frost just appeared behind him and encased his entire body before he could blink. One of the most powerful warriors in the region, frozen into an ice sculpture with a casual wave while barely paying attention. Everyone in the restaurant sucked in a collective breath so hard I'm surprised the building didn't implode. Luai Shang and his wife went chalk white and stumbled backward. They'd been about to beg for Lucius' release. But after watching that, no, begging. Privileges revoked. They looked like they were trying to melt into the wallpaper. And then, and this is the part that kept breaking my brain, the ice girl turned to me with this bright, expectant look on her face, like a cat that just brought you a dead bird and wanted praise. "Hubby, wasn't I amazing?" Frozen a martial ancestor with a flick of her wrist, radiating enough killing intent to frost an entire building. Next. Second, big round eyes, pouty lips. Tell me I did good. The emotional whiplash from these women is going to give me a heart condition. Yes, amazing, I said, nodding like a robot. "You see?" Still clinging to my right arm, puffed her cheeks. "It was okay, I guess. Nobody asked you." The ice girl squeezed my left arm tighter. "If hubby says I'm amazing, that's all that matters." Both arms, both occupied, both experiencing sensations that my 16-year-old brain could not handle. My eyes were going slightly unfocused. It was like being attacked by two clouds made of perfume and softness from opposite directions. Focus, Sappho, focus. Miss, call me wifey. DJ with Grey Vu. The exact same conversation I'd had with UIA 20 minutes earlier. These two were running the same playbook. You looked at the ice girl with the most disgusted expression. You're supposed to be a holy maiden of the extreme ice holy land. Have some dignity. This from the woman, who was literally hanging off my arm like a decorative scarf. The hypocrisy was astronomical. Extreme ice, holy maiden. The one with the legendary extreme ice, sacred body. Extreme ice, holy land that's on the same level as the celestial fox holy land. One of the 10 supreme holy lands. Another supreme holy maiden. What in the what did Jiang do to attract two of the 10 supreme holy maidens? The guests were having a collective mental breakdown. I couldn't blame them. I was having one too. You're also a holy maiden? I asked, genuinely floored. Nice to officially meet you. I'm Lin Watching. First holy maiden of the extreme ice holy land. And your future wife, my future wife. She said it like she was telling me water is wet. Just a fact. No discussion needed. Could you please have some shame? First come, first served. You see, snapped. Since when do matters of the heart follow a cue? It's every woman for herself. Lin Wing smiled sweetly. I tried very weakly. Could I interrupt for a second? They said, I in unison. Same sweet voice. Same loving tone. Could you maybe let go of my arms? I mean, yes. Both arms were submerged in paradise. It felt incredible. But I was a pure-hearted young man, and this level of stimulation was torture on my innocent soul. And oh, they said together, squeezing harder. Forget I asked. I gave up. Completely. If you can't beat them, become a human teddy bear. I let both supreme holy maidens compress my arms with their assets and decided to accept my fate. Behind me, I heard my mom whisper to my dad, Honey, these two girls are both great. Which one should we pick as our daughter-in-law? I can't decide. My dad his back. Are you crazy? Those aren't ordinary girls. That's you see the celestial fox holy maiden and Lin Watching the extreme ice holy maiden. You think women of that caliber would actually want to marry our son for real? They must have ulterior motives we don't know about. My mom rolled her eyes so hard. What do we have that's worth scheming for? Our son who can't cultivate. Stop being so paranoid. I think both girls are wonderful. A million times better than that Luciu. Dad rubbed his temples in defeat. They thought they were being quiet. They were not being quiet. I heard every word. And when I looked at Yusha and Lin Wing, they both had this amused little smirk that said, Yeah, we heard that too. I wanted to crawl into a hole and perish. Sounds like Annie approves of me as a daughter-in-law. You see is saying, she was obviously talking about me. Don't flatter yourself. Lin Wing fired back. And while these two were bickering over whom my mom liked more, like this was some kind of reality TV show called The Bachelor Holy Maiden Edition, a deep booming voice echoed from the restaurant entrance. Cloud Mountain Sect Master Yan has come to pay respects to the Celestial Fox, Holy Maiden. Oh great! The Grand Elder sent his distress signal, and the actual Sect Master of Cloud Mountain showed up. A full Marshal Venerable the Big Boss. Coming to pay respects, which is powerful person code for please don't destroy my sect. I looked to my left, frozen Grand Elder. I looked to my right, frozen Luciu. I looked at my arms, two holy maidens attached like designer accessories. I looked at the entrance, a Marshal Venerable begging for an audience. This was supposed to be a simple engagement banquet. I just wanted some free food, man loudly crying face. So, the Cloud Mountain Sect Master walked in big, burly, arms like tree trunks, and the guests parted like the Red Sea. Everyone was whispering about how he's a real Marshal Venerable Yellow, rank level 3, and speculating whether he could take on the two holy maidens. I tried to be reasonable. See, Miss Lin, the Cloud Mountain Sect Master, is a genuine Marshal Venerable. Maybe we should, talk things out nicely. You see, giggled. Yellow rank level 3 Marshal Venerable. That's supposed to be scary. And Lin Waning, she didn't even acknowledge the threat. Instead, she stomped her foot and pouted. Hubby, you called her CIA. But you called me Miss Lin. Uh, what should I call you then? Wifey. Obviously shameless. You see glared at her. That's a bit much. Then call me Xiaoing, or Ching, or Hujiner. That's like the cutest, most intimate pet name possible. I'm a martial apprentice calling a supreme holy maiden Chinger. That feels like a crime. How about Xiaoing? She nodded happily like a puppy getting a treat. Hubby, you have to call me Shy then. You see stamped her foot. Fine, fine, fine. Supreme Holy Maiden of the Celestial Fox Holy Land. Reduced to yay because I used a nickname. The guests were all thinking the same two words. I know they were because I was thinking them too. Energy except reversed. Two of the most powerful women in the entire empire were sing for me. A guy who couldn't beat up a strong breeze. The universe had clearly lost its mind. And meanwhile, the Cloud Mountain sect master was just standing there waiting. He'd made this grand entrance, announced himself with a booming voice, and these two girls were arguing over nicknames like he didn't exist. He glanced at his grand elder frozen in the corner. His eye twitched, but he kept his composure. He bowed. To you, Sia. Cloud Mountain sect master Yan pays respects to the Celestial Fox Holy Maiden. You see, didn't even look at him. Heard you the first time. I'm not deaf. She was literally in the middle of negotiating pet names with me, and this martial venerable had the audacity to interrupt. How dare he? But Yan stayed calm. A ring appeared in his hand, which he held out respectfully. My grand elder's offense was unintentional. Please, accept these 10,000 mid-grade spirit stones as an apology. I humbly asked the Holy Maiden to spare him. The crowd gasped. 10,000 mid-grade spirit stones? I've never seen that many in my life. With that many stones, the Sia family could become a powerhouse. I thought. He came to fight. He came to pay a fine. 10,000 mid-grade spirit stones. That's an insane amount of money for our little star language city. That's like someone pulling up with a dump truck full of gold bars. You see? I squeezed my arm. He's not apologizing to me. He's apologizing to my husband. Yan looked at me. I could tell he was deeply confused about why a supreme holy maiden was attached to a talentless 16-year-old like a barnacle on a luxury yacht. But he swallowed his questions, bowed to me, and said, Young sir, please accept these 10,000 mid-grade spirit stones as our sincere apology. A martial venerable bowing to me, offering me money. 3 hours ago, I woke up as the city's biggest disappointment. Now, a martial venerable was basically writing me an apology check. Is this real life? My mom, who'd been watching this whole thing from behind me, leaned forward and whispered, Shia, take it. My dad, on the other hand, was frowning. I could tell he was thinking, once the holy maidens leave, every greedy warrior in the region is going to come rob us for those stones. Smart man, my dad. But Sia smiled and said, take it, hubby. If you don't, he'll feel uneasy. Yes, yes, please take it. Yanshan nodded so fast his head almost unscrewed. I reached for the ring, hesitated, reached again, then just took it. 10,000 mid-grade spirit stones in my pocket. Me, the waste, the guy who can't generate internal energy, holding more wealth than my entire city has probably seen in a decade. And then, from my left side, a voice cold enough to freeze the concept of warmth itself. Lin Wing, arms crossed, eyebrow raised, full ice queen mode. You are? Yeah, helpfully chime in. Oh, she's the first holy maiden of the extreme ice holy land. Also, your grand elder was frozen by her. Not me. Jan's face went through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Then he turned and glared at his frozen grand elder through the ice. You could almost read his thoughts. You didn't just offend one supreme holy maiden. You offended 2, and you didn't even mention the second one in your message. 2. Be fair, the grand elder was frozen before he could update his report. But still, Cloud Mountain sect master Yunshan greets the extreme ice holy maiden. He bowed again, gritting his teeth, and pulled out another ring. This contains 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Please, accept it as our apology. You could feel him crying inside. These stones had just been mined from their spirit vein, fresh out the ground, not even used yet. And now, he was handing them over because his idiot grand elder couldn't keep his mouth shut. Lin Wing's icy gaze didn't waver. You're not apologizing to me. You're apologizing to my husband. Yan looked at me again. This poor man. He could not wrap his brain around it. Two supreme holy maidens, both pointing at the same random kid, both saying, apologize to him. He bowed to me a second time, handed over the ring, and I could see the question burning behind his eyes. Enough wealth to transform my entire family's fortunes. All because two women I've never met decided I was their husband. And an old man called me a bad word. This mighty heaven rank level 9 martial ancestor, who walked into this restaurant calling me waste and threatening to teach people manners practically, sprinted out the door with his tail between his legs. She'd been using her bare flesh to endure that freezing power after her energy ran out. Me, the guy who tried to quietly cancel the engagement days ago to save everyone's face. The guy whose dad literally ruined his own cultivation, saving her father's life. You chose to turn the engagement banquet into your personal press conference. You chose to publicly humiliate me and my family for clout. Her mom looked at me, sighed, and said, let's just go. Her dad muttered something about how she should forget today and focus on Cloud Mountain sect. They turned to leave and husband shy phone. Well, the opposite of froze. Is there a sign on my back that says husband applications accepted here? Even Yun Shan and the Lu family who'd been trying to leave had to step aside and in walked. The Lu family was frozen emotionally. One holy maiden showing up may be a coincidence. Please tell me, this isn't another holy maiden. It was absolutely another holy maiden. If he could marry all of them, that'd be perfect. The one who broke off the engagement at the banquet and humiliated my husband. Lucius' face twisted. Another impossibly beautiful woman calling that waste for her husband. With your level of talent, 15 years old and only Earth rank level 1, you're not even qualified to carry my husband's shoes. Most of them hadn't even reached Earth rank and they were way older than 15. You dare compare yourself to my husband? She deliberately humiliated my husband at his own engagement banquet. From the dream, which I still didn't know about, she knew the full consequences of what Lu Xiu had planned. In that dream future, after the public humiliation, my family could never show their faces in Star Language City again. Lu Xiu used Cloud Mountain sect's backing to rise up, took over the city lord position, and drove my family out. Lu Tinshan grabbed his wife and daughter. I heard you joined Cloud Mountain sect. Yinshan, the Cloud Mountain sect master, a full martial venerable who was trying to quietly sneak out the door, spun around and set at top speed. She is not a member of Cloud Mountain sect. My sect master paid 10,000 mid-grade and 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Expelled from Cloud Mountain sect. Lu Xiu hadn't even visited the sect yet. That might be the shortest sect membership in the history of cultivation. Without Cloud Mountain sect, the Lu family had nothing. Their entire power play, the public engagement breaking, the grand announcement, the flex in front of the whole city, it was all built on Cloud Mountain sect's backing. A talented disciple versus angering another holy maiden. Xiaop is him husband. If you even think about retaliating against him, I will burn Cloud Mountain sect to ashes. The blazing fire holy maiden, another, one of the 10 supreme holy maidens, all claiming to be my wife. Holy maiden. 2. Lin Waning froze the Grand Elder and Lu Xiu into ice sculptures. Holy maiden. 3. Xiaoling slapped Lu Yu, got her expelled from her sect, and just threatened to burn down an entire mid-tier organization. Once the holy maidens leave Star Language City, we disguise ourselves as the Crouching Bull sect and attack the Xiao family. She's the first holy maiden of the blazing fire holy land. Another supreme holy maiden for Exome. The Lu family was frozen in place mentally, emotionally, spiritually. If you marry me, you can do whatever you want. While these two were bickering across my chest like I was a disputed border territory, Shaoling Xian turned back to the Lu family. Cloud Mountain sect paid 10,000 mid-grade stones and a 100,000 low-grade stones to apologize. The Lu family, one of 3 noble families in a mid-tier city, matched the treasury of an entire mid-tier sect. She waved her hand and a wall of fire erupted from the ground, encircling the entire Lu family. Inside that ring, the Lu family was being roasted. They burned through their internal energy, trying to shield themselves. She still had Lin Wing's ice power lingering inside her from being frozen earlier. This was supreme holy maiden ice. If only the Lu family had accepted the quiet breakup when the Xiao family offered it. None of this would have happened. Consequences meet the Lu family. The cold, terrifying fire goddess who was casually barbecuing a family of 3 vanished. Stay away from our husband. I am simultaneously the most protected and the most endangered person on this entire continent. You represent the pinnacle of grace, elegance, and power in the entire empire, and you're about to wrestle like drunk uncles at a family reunion over a guy who can't even do a proper push-up. But Xiaoling, she froze. The girl who was casually barbecuing a family 3 minutes ago now looked like a kicked puppy. 1,000 years of living with me. In that dream. Hubby, when are you going to marry me? Wait, didn't you ask for an engagement ceremony? You proposed an engagement banquet. Xiaoling Xian said, forget engagement. Round 47 of Who Gets the Waste Husband. They left their supreme holy lands, flew across the empire, arrived at my backwater city, and they had dowries ready to go. Nothing, in either existence, prepared me for 3 supreme holy maidens arrive with pre-packed dowries and fight to marry you. Because you do not mess up in front of future mother-in-law. Over, in the fire prison, Luian Shang and his wife watched my mom being pampered by 3 holy maidens. Another holy maiden. But this girl, she brought an entire weather system. If Lin Weining had gone all out, she would have frozen the entire city and killed everyone. You need to be at least martial ancestor rank to walk on air with my talent. But hey, a waste can dream. Nearby sect leaders and powerful warriors from across the region were also sensing the disturbance and flying towards Star Language City, probably thinking a legendary treasure had appeared. Nope, just another impossibly powerful woman here to claim a 16-year-old failure as her husband. Don't touch my husband. The one hubby will marry, in the end, is definitely me. Every previous holy maiden was staring daggers at us. My mom had more control over 3 supreme holy maidens than the Grand Elder, the sect master, and the entire Cloud Mountain sect combined. Mom power is the strongest power in any universe. The lightning girl noticed the dying flames around Lu Xiu and her family. Hey, maybe we could. Hubby, give me 1 second. She walked over to Lu Xiu, who was basically a puddle of sweat and suffering on the floor, baked, frozen, slapped 3 times, expelled from her sect, and now about to face round 4. This ugly, this untalented, and she thought she could break off an engagement. Wangui, the first holy maiden, the top candidate for the next Holy Land Master. Crouching Bull Sect, Master Neo Jin, paying respects to the Purple Thunder Holy Maiden. So, the rival sect master of Cloud Mountain had also shown up, drawn by the lightning show, and he was already bowing. He saw what happened to the last sect that got mouthy. Every new holy maiden that arrives does 3 things. Call me husband, insult Lu Xiu, punish Lu Xiu. I'm starting to think small lesson in holy maiden language means maximum suffering without actual death. She humiliated my entire family. My dad, who destroyed his own cultivation saving her father, got publicly disrespected. No build-up, no warning, just attack. We just witnessed a holy maiden kiss someone. The sect leaders who'd flown in from nearby drawn by the lightning show were completely shocked. His family came from elsewhere to govern the city, but nobody special ever showed up for them. Every sect leader who asked got the same answer and the same confusion. I was being intimate with him, my husband. He's not your husband. A first-s served system for becoming my wife. I stood behind my wall of 3 holy maidens, cheeks still damp from the kiss, spirit stones jingling in my pocket, watching the 4th holy maiden argue about line-cutting privileges, and I thought, this morning, no girl wanted me. Win over the mother-in-law. Win the husband. This wasn't a martial arts competition anymore. If he told me earlier, I wouldn't have broken off the engagement, girl. If I had some secret power or identity, don't you think I would have used it? During the 16 years I spent being called a waste? The sect leaders were all trying to figure it out. The Crouching Bull sect master went through the logical possibilities. Every sword in the room started vibrating. One by one, every single sword ripped free, flew out of its sheath and arranged itself into a perfectly straight line stretching from inside the restaurant all the way out the entrance. A sword bridge, a runway, a red carpet made of blades, and from outside, an overwhelming wave of sword intent rolled toward us like a tsunami. The sheer power of it made grown warriors break out in cold sweat. Nobody had even arrived yet, and they'd already taken control of every sword wielder's weapon in the building. That level of power was insane. Another husband thief incoming. She was going to be a supreme holy maiden, and she was going to call me. A flash of sword light. A figure appeared at the entrance, landing lightly on the rage tip of a floating sword. Long black hair, big round eyes blazing with sword intense. So intense that people couldn't even look directly at her. The terrifying sword intent vanished. The cold, sharp expression melted, and the most beautiful smile I'd seen in 5 holy maiden entrances today bloomed across her face. Hubby. Every sword in the room simultaneously flew back to its owner and she itself. I put down my cup of water, looked at the sword goddess floating toward me, and thought, at this rate I'm going to need a pretty loudly crying face. This sword girl was a martial venerable. Instead, she chose to commandeer every sword in the building, build herself a bridge, and walk in like a runway model at the world's most dangerous fashion show. At least I came here for my husband, not to show off, you added. Meanwhile, Lightning Girl and Sword Girl had gone full cinematic universe, and now these 4 felt like they'd shown up to prom in pajamas. Meanwhile, the sword goddess appeared in front of me and went straight for a hug. Let go of our husband for holy maiden shot to their feet. The sword girl looked up at them, briefly surprised that 4 people beat her here, then immediately decided she didn't care. Supreme holy maiden finishing school graduates. And that's when the sword girl escalated to DEFCON 1. I was about to collapse, and the only thing that saved me from face-planting was my hand shooting out and grabbing her waist to steady myself. But she recovered in about 2 seconds because apparently in that mysterious dream that everyone except me remembers, we'd done a lot more than this. My brain was sending emergency alerts to every system. The sect leaders who'd arrived after Wong U.S. Lightning Show also looked away, not because they were polite, because they were afraid. Elegant, graceful ladies, for bodies froze mid-step. But their eyes were locked on the sword girl like laser-guided missiles, waiting for a target lock. The sword girl didn't care, not even a little. And Luciu, baked, frozen, slapped 3 times, expelled from her sect, and electrocuted, was still glaring at me with pure hatred from her mother's arms. The sword girl finally released me from her grip and turned to look at Luciu. They know the whole engagement situation. Every single holy maiden who walked in already knew who everyone was. They knew about the engagement. I didn't have time to think about it because the sword girl turned back to Luciu with a look that said, "My turn. She's already in pretty bad shape." The sword girl mused. "No, declining for 10 years because of you, and you repay him by publicly humiliating his family." A guest who was friends with my family stood up and laid out the full story for everyone. The herb was deep in the wilderness, guarded by a first-rank upper spirit beast, basically equal to a yellow rank level 9 martial king. He's dropped to yellow rank level 8. Meanwhile, Lu Tian got his pill, broke through to martial king, and his life has been great. Whatever tiny shred of sympathy anyone still had for the Lu family, gone, erased, deleted from existence. The sword girl said what I was too well-mannered to say. My husband and Uncle Sia are gracious enough not to hold grudges. Invisible sword intent engulfed all 3 members of the Lu family. Luciu had gone through ice, fire, lightning, and now sword intent, the 4 classical elements of suffering. Once the sword girl finished setting up her punishment zone, she turned to me, and you know the drill by now. Because at this point, if I gave every holy maiden the nickname they wanted, I'd need a contact list just to keep track. Hubby, my name is Lying Shua, Holy Maiden of the Celestial Sword. Holy Land. Got defended by Holy Maiden. Got defended by Holy Maiden 2. Ice Freezing Specialist got defended by Holy Maiden 3. Fire Roasting Specialist got defended by Holy Maiden 4. Lightning Electrocution Specialist got defended by Holy Maiden 5. Sword Soul Cutting Specialist got kissed on cheek, got ear bitten. Am holding Spirit Stones, worth more than the City X. Fiancee has been slapped, frozen, roasted, electrocuted, and soul. Shredded ex-fiancee sect master expelled her and fled. Entire audience now hates the Lu family. How do they all know my family? Wait, didn't I have a dream last night? A dream I couldn't remember? Another supreme holy maiden, celestial fox, extreme ice, blazing fire, purple thunder, and now celestial sword. I looked at Li Qingxua. This absolutely stunning sword goddess standing in front of me. You're my husband. Also, several sect leaders were hanging around hoping to network with 5 supreme holy maidens. The crouching bull sect master was lurking in the corner like a fan at a celebrity meet and greet. The Lu family, they wanted to leave, but they were trapped inside Li Qingshu's sword intent domain. Defending me, defending my family, embarrassing the people who embarrassed us. What's the real reason 5 supreme holy maidens traveled thousands of miles to find me, a martial apprentice, and call me husband? Because, let's be honest, 5 of the most powerful young women in the empire don't just spontaneously decide to marry the weakest guy in a backwater city. And whether that agenda was good or catastrophic for my family, I needed to. No, hubby, I'm here to marry you. Even the crouching bull sect master's eyes went wide. His entire sect only controlled 5 mid-grade spirit veins. They help martial apprentices generate internal energy and become true warriors. Even Lu Tianxiang, currently getting his soul shredded by sword and tint in the corner, was staring with bulging eyes. I still don't know what that dream was about. If I had that, I could break through to heaven, rank martial master within a year. Lu Shu, still trapped in the sword and tint zone, was staring at the cushion with an expression so bitter it could curdle milk. In this world, weapons rank from low to extreme grade. Lightning techniques are already the most destructive type of martial arts. The unspoken question, what's the sword girl bringing to the table? And a sword. The Qingxua sword, an extreme grade offensive spirit artifact. As you grow stronger, the sword grows with you. A sword that works for a martial warrior is useless for a martial king. Will you marry me? 1 cultivation speed X, 10 cushion, 1 fire defense, spirit artifact, 1 body transforming lightning fruit, 1 evolving spirit sword. I could buy Cloud Mountain Sect and use it as a vacation home. I'll take everything and marry all of you. Hubby, marry me. Hubby, I'll give you the celestial sword sacred scripture as my dowry. The celestial sword sacred scripture, a saint-grade martial art, the foundational secret technique of the entire celestial sword, Holy Land. 5 saint-grade martial arts. All 5 froze simultaneously. You know, you girls could all just marry my son together. His eyes screamed, woman, you want to get our family exterminated? Those are supreme holy maidens, not village girls at a matchmaking fair. Louis and Xiang, still gasping for air on the ground after the sword intent torture, actually looked excited. You see, I broke the silence with a grin. I think that's a wonderful idea, but I call first wife. Why should you be first wife? I should be first wife? First wife is mine. Winner gets first wife. 5 supreme holy maidens, the most elite, powerful, untouchable women in the northern half of the empire, just agreed to share a husband. The same husband. They weren't fighting about whether to marry me together. They were fighting about rank order. Lu Shu, battered, burned, frozen, electrocuted, sword shredded. 5 pressures at once from 5 martial venerables on a girl who was barely an earth rank warrior and had been tortured all morning. Then, like nothing happened, all 5 turned back to each other and resumed arguing about who gets to be first wife. Mom power is real. Just grabbed Lu Xiu like a sack of potatoes and bolted out the door with his wife. We need to get him a martial art he can actually practice. Wang Yui, in the dream, he got his ultimate technique from the heavenly dragon mountain range. Whoever finds it first gets to marry him. Wang Yui, the crouching bull sect. In the dream, that's where he started his rise. And their sect master is literally standing right there. She addressed a martial venerable sect master like she was reading a name tag at a coffee shop. It's Neo Gene Purple Thunder. Holy Maiden, what can I do for you? Holy Maiden, he's my husband. Give him your sect's foundational martial art. Holy Maiden, he's 16. Still a martial apprentice. 1 tiny sound from Wang Yui and 4 other pairs of Holy Maiden eyes joined in. Our sect's foundational technique, A lower-tier transcendent grade martial art with sufficient talent. It can carry you all the way to yellow rank level 9 martial venerable. A transcendent grade martial art that's 5 tiers above what I'd normally have access to. This man, a martial venerable, the leader of a sect that controlled half the region, was begging me to take his most precious technique, his sect's crown jewel, the thing his own disciples had, to pass brutal tests to even look at, protect the family, and teach my husband how to cultivate. Neoan, a martial venerable sect master, was just assigned as my personal bodyguard and tutor by a teenager. Yes, celestial sword, holy maiden, one holy maiden. 5 meant his entire sect could be destroyed before dinner. 5 supreme holy maidens want to marry me. I own a cultivation speed X10 cushion, a fire defense artifact, a body transformation, fruit, and an evolving sword spirit stone wealth that could buy multiple cities, a transcendent grade martial art delivered personally by a martial. Her sect expelled her. Her family fled in disgrace. Something they apparently know about from a dream that everyone remembers except me. That dream I had last night. I'm starting to think that dream was a lot more important than I realized. But hey, for now I have a martial venerable sect master standing in my living room asking, "So, what would you like to learn first?" The holy maidens won't let him join some mid-tier sect. Her perfume short-circuited my nervous system. Get ready to marry me when I come back. Then everyone rushed forward to congratulate my family. The engagement banquet that started as a humiliation somehow turned into the greatest networking event in Star Language City history. Because 5 supreme holy maidens just flew across the empire to marry me. Do you know how powerful a family would have to be for supreme holy maidens to chase their son like this? Wait, dream, I said. The only possible connection would be in a dream. The dream beat last night. I joked that if it was really so powerful, it should pull the 10 supreme holy maidens into my dream and let me live my best life. Then I fell asleep and had a dream. A very long dream. A dream I couldn't remember. And this morning, 5 holy maidens showed up, knowing my name, my family, my ex, fiancé, the entire engagement situation, all without anyone telling them. In a dream. Did the dream bead actually do what I asked? Did it really pull the 10 supreme holy maidens into my dream? Is that why they call me husband? Because in that dream, I was their husband for 1,000 years. A dream affecting reality, affecting martial venerables. I needed to use the dream bead again and see what happened. If I was right, then this little bead that I spent 16 years thinking was a useless marble was the most overpowered artifact in existence. I grabbed the crouching bull art from inside my shirt, stood up, and said, "Dad, Mom, I'm going to go see Sect Master Neo." The dream beat, the 1,000-year dream, the holy maidens who remember everything. After my father died and my dancing got damaged, my dad said we weren't from a hidden family. Sect Master, no, I have a favor to ask. He was babysitting under threat of 5 holy maiden tantrums. Centuries of accumulated martial wisdom compressed into one manual. The crouching bull art generates energy, with incredible endurance and staying power like a bull. If you run out of energy, you can detonate that stored power for a devastating surprise attack. Inside my soul, the dream bead activated. It recorded everything said, created a dream world, and played his lecture on repeat. Except in the dream world, the words became the voice of the heavens. Dream time kicked in. 1 year passed in the dream. 500 dream years, 1 and a half real hours. A 16-year-old who couldn't understand basic martial arts theory just used his priceless lecture as a lullaby. Sect Master knew. He broke through to Warrior. Yellow rank. Level 2. Yellow rank Level 3. Yellow rank 4. Mystic rank 1 through 9. Earth. Rank 1, 2, all the way to Earth rank Level 9. 27 consecutive breakthroughs from Martial Apprentice to Earth rank Level 9 Warrior in the time it takes to brew a pot of tea. Power I'd spent 16 years dreaming about. Real solid mind sect mastery. No, I said, trying to sound casual. I think I maybe broke through to Earth rank. A martial venerable sect master, reduced to sputtering fragments. He had never in his entire life seen someone go from absolute 0 to Earth rank Level 9 in ANAP. The dream beat. That beautiful, glorious, broken little pearl that I spent 16 years calling useless. It took Neo Gene's lecture, turned it into 500 years of dream training, and my body absorbed the results in reality. I couldn't remember the dream. The power was real. Sect Master Neo, your teaching was so good that I broke through the moment you finished. I twitched and I thought I went from city trash to earth rank level 9 in one nap. If I sleep a few more times, the dream bead isn't just strong. The dream bead didn't fix my brain. The one time I desperately wanted to pass out, my body was like, nah, we're wide awake now, buddy. I just absorbed enough spiritual energy to power a small city. The dream bead's greatest weakness. Forget it. Sect Master Neo. I headed straight for the Sia family's martial arts pavilion. The old guardian of the pavilion was Elder Sia, a white-haired yellow rank level 9 martial king, who'd been with our family since my grandfather's time. Dad treated him like a second father. You broke through? It's low rate, but great for yellow rank warriors. Elder Sa, I'm not a yellow rank warrior. I'm earth rank level 9, and I want the flowing light sword art. The flowing light sword art was the only high-grade extreme tier technique in our entire collection. The crown jewel of our family's modest library. Earth rank level 9. You really are Earth rank level 9. I'd figured out how the dream bead worked. The bead creates a dream world, replays the explanation as the voice of heaven, and I trained for 500 dream years in about 90 real-world minutes. So, I gave Elder Sa one very specific instruction. The flowing light sword art prioritizes speed above all else. Snorer Elder Sa's enthusiastic lecture face froze when the snoring started. Every instinct told him to stop, but he remembered my instruction, gritted his teeth, and kept going, lecturing to a sleeping teenager, explaining sword stances to someone who was drooling on the table. He taught the entire C family guard corps over the years. Inside my soul, the dream bead glowed. A dream world formed. And Dreamy practiced the flowing light sword art over and over. 500 dream years. Perhaps a lower tier sword art. He'd heard my snoring. And martial techniques require physical practice. You can't learn sword forms sitting in a chair, with your eyes closed. But he didn't know what I knew. Because right now, flooding into my brain was a complete memory of the flowing light sword art. Dream beat. Abilities confirmed. Real-world lectures creates dream training worlds. 500 dream years equals 90 real minutes. Dream cultivation transfers to reality. Dream technique practice transfers to reality. 27 breakthroughs to Earth rank. Mastered a high-grade extreme tier sword technique. My brain still can't understand basic martial arts theory. So I pulled out the Qingxue sword, the evolving spirit artifact from Lachingua's dowry, and smiled. He was humoring me, standing there with his gentle old man smile, fully expecting me to wave the sword around like a toddler with a stick. The flowing light sword art flooded my muscles like it had been there for centuries because, in dream time it had. The Qingxue sword was at Elder Sa's throat before he even blinked. The flowing light sword art. That's really the flowing light sword art. I smiled, sheathed my sword, and walked away feeling like a million spirit stones. I felt the shock wave from the martial arts pavilion. The Liu family, the Liu family, the Qingxue sword materialized in my hand. Neo Gene was fighting someone, and that someone was Mountain Sect Master Yanshan, the guy who was literally graveling and paying us spirit stones this morning. His power had skyrocketed all around. Xiao family guards versus Liu family guards. The Liu family's people had all gotten mysterious power boosts. And in the middle of the main hall, Lu Shu standing there, sword in hand, waiting for me. Lu Shu, your family has a death wish. You humiliated me and my family at the banquet. Today, you die and your entire family dies with you. Shaish planned the public engagement breaking. Cloud Mountain Sect can't protect you. And traditionally, the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden are supposed to marry each other, become cultivation partners, eventually co-rule the Holy Land. They sent Cloud Mountain Sect and the Liu family to destroy my family while they intercepted the Holy Maidens. The mysterious power boosts Lu Shu's miraculous healing, all provided by the Holy Sons. Xiaop Lu Shu raised her sword. Once you and your family are dead, everything becomes mine. A brilliant arc of sword energy came screaming toward me. The Qingxue sword moved. Flowing light sword art. Lu Shu's sword shattered. I stood in the doorway, Qing Shua's sword, gleaming in my hand, and looked down at her. I'm Earth rank level 9 now. 27 levels in one nap, and a 500-year sword technique learned while snoring. Earth rank level 9. Lu Shu dragged herself off the ground using her sword as a crutch. You can't be Earth rank level 9. I flicked the Qinshua sword. When did you learn a sword technique? 2. The 5 holy sons from the 5 northern holy lands had found out that their respective holy maidens, the women they were supposed to marry, had run off to some backwater city to chase a random boy. Sent Yunshan to Cloud Mountain sect with orders. Gave Yunshan power-boosting pills to distribute to the Lu family. Promised the Lu family all of the Xiao family's resources after we were dead. Healed Lu Xiu and restored her cultivation. Yin Shan, being the scheming weasel he was, didn't want to get his own hands dirty, so he used the Lu family as his attack dogs. The Lu family's powered-up warriors would overwhelm our guards. Do you want your entire sect destroyed? So you use the Lu family. Now the Lu family failed. Then your sect dies. The Sia family doesn't run. Lu Xiu, propped up by her father, started cackling like a villain in a bad play. Xiaop, you were hiding your power this whole time. Earth rank level 9 pretending to be a waste just to trick me into breaking off the engagement. I broke through 2 hours ago. Your conspiracy theory has more holes than your sword technique. If the dream bead really pulled all 10 holy maidens into the dream, then the 5 southern holy maidens should also be coming. The cloud mount hand aimed directly at my family. I gripped the Qingshu sword, ready to fight, even though I knew we were outmatched. The moment everything ended, or how dare you touch my husband? A voice exploded across the battlefield. The cavalry had arrived.